Casamayor. Yes, the trash talk has been flying. The fight built up a steady war of words. Now it is time for their fists to do the talking as these two skilled boxers are set to battle again. Now, former lightweight titleist Diego Corrales, who over the course of his 11-year career has repeatedly provided us with spectacular and compelling fights. I think what draws us to the guy is simple: a combination of vulnerability and one-punch KO power, and his willingness to face the best fighters in the world. As for this fight, I'm not sure even he anticipated this much genuine disdain from Casamayor. It could be the most bitter rivalry in boxing today.
Come the fight, I'm going to prove to the whole world what a piece of crap he is.
He's rude and he's very nasty. He's a dirty fighter.
And afterwards, we can go out to the street and do it again.
If controversy breeds antagonism, then the endings of their first two fights must have fueled their hate. Their first bout was filled with back-and-forth action, with 3 knockdowns in 6 rounds. But in a freak accident, a Casamayor punch busted Corrales' mouthpiece, opening a gaping hole in his lip.
Bang, I mean, he hit me with his left hand. I mean, I felt my lip and it hurt a little different than normal. And all of a sudden, I'm getting this blood just pouring down my chin and my chest. I'm like, well, where is this coming from?
I saw he was injured. I could see his jaw was loose, so I kept aiming for him.
I'm sorry, but this has...
Give me 1 round! Give me 1 round!
So I'm begging for 1 more round. So all I need is a little bit more time. I'm begging for a little bit more time, and I don't get it.
He needs to thank God and the doctor for stopping the fight. If we had gone another round, I could have ended his career, or he might have ended up dead.
The rematch 5 months later was an evenly matched tactical battle with only 1 knockdown late in the fight.
I just got lackadaisical. He beat me to the punch. Straight shots always gonna beat a looping shot, always.
Recovering from the knockdown, Corrales rocked Casamayor in the 11th, and the fight went to the scorecard.
I won 10 rounds, 8 rounds minimum.
If at best, he got 4 rounds, if at best.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision in favor of the winner, Diego.
I know when I'm winning a fight. I know. A boxer knows. It's like a pitcher. A pitcher instinctively knows when he throws a ball or a strike. I know I won that fight.
Over the last 2.5 years, the animosity between these two competitors continues to fester.
He loves to try to put his elbow under your neck. I hate that. He wants to always grab my back of my head and hit me. So he does a lot of fun stuff. He keep it interesting.
You're not going in the ring to feel good. It's boxing. It's not ping pong or baseball. It's boxing. The day they clean up boxing is the day I won't fight anymore.
How many times have I been cut by this guy? In 2 fights, I had 4 cuts. That's ridiculous. None of them come from a punch. They all come from headbutts.
Let's talk about how he cried like a baby for a rematch. I gave him a rematch because I'm a true champion, but he lied. He said he'd give me one soon, but he didn't.
After their long campaign of angry words and bitter challenges, these two adversaries are eager to settle their personal differences and professional rivalry once and for all.
Down goes Casamayor.
I'm his daddy. He needs to come and kiss my hand. He needs to beg for my forgiveness.
I feel I've earned the respect, and if he's not going to respect me on his own, then I'm going to have to go out there and make him respect me, and that's what I'm here for.
Taking the term familiarity breeds contempt to a whole new level. Here is Joel Casamayor, who's posted a record of 33-3-1, but could just as easily be undefeated. His points losses to Corrales, Castillo, and Acelino Freitas were all disputed, as was his draw with Kid Diamond. Will the slick counter-punching southpaw alter his style tonight and go for a knockout in an effort to prevent the judges from deciding his fate? Casamayor is 35, and the answer could very well shape the remainder of his career. While the rivalry between these fighters remains contentious, it's been overshadowed by Corrales' unique history with Jose Luis Castillo. Ironically, the scales have played a part in the Corrales-Casamayor rivalry. Yes, the Corrales-Casamayor fights have been spiced with subtleties, strategic adjustments, and subplots. Back here with Al Bernstein. Al, it's a soap opera, it's a mini-series, it's reality TV, but bottom line, there is still a score to be settled here tonight.
You know, there's a lot of emotion, a lot of drama, a lot of passion wrapped up in this fight, that's for sure. And a lot of it has certainly been created by Joel Casamayor. But the fact of the matter is, the most subtle misstep in strategy or technique or execution could be what this fight turns on. And for Casamayor, it's especially important because he is first and foremost a technician in the ring. That and his power guides his possible path to victory. When Casamayor moves left, Corrales follows, and it's in perfect range for the big Casamayor left hand. Joel just wasn't busy enough to win a decision in their second fight. He needs to throw more punches. The left hand is the ticket. When he lands it, it almost always hurts or knocks down Corrales. Now, the left can land when Corrales squares himself up, as it did early in their first fight. And even when Corrales remains tall with the right hand up, Casamayor can still get that left hand in. And in the 10th round of their second fight, needed something dramatic. A short left sent Corrales down again. Casamayor needs to throw this punch as much as possible. Corrales controlled the second of their fights with his jab. He needs more of same tonight. He almost subconsciously drifts to the right to follow Casamayor, and then bang, he gets hit with the left. He can't afford that tonight. For him, the right hand is the punch du jour. When fighting at a distance, this tall lightweight can get that right hand in, and it has as much power as his left.
Strictly from a boxing standpoint, the fascination of this series is that each fight's been totally different. The first was intensely fierce, the second very tactical. How will this one play out? The highly decorated Joel Casamayor, former world champion, Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest fighters to come out of Cuba, a very proud man who felt slighted by Corrales for making him wait 2.5 years for a chance at revenge. And then, on top of that, Corrales failing to make weight, which jeopardized everything and left Casamayor just seething yesterday. Al, one insult after another, which has made him extremely bitter, and he cannot wait for that bell to ring.
Well, if ever a fighter was walking into the ring with momentum already on his side, it's Casamayor. He's making more money in this fight than he thought he would. His camp in a good strategic mood made Corrales stay to the 147 weight earlier today. That could give him a big advantage in terms of how they hydrate and give nutrition to Corrales. That could help him. And also, he could win the title if he wins here tonight, and will leave this ring no worse than a #1 contender with a guaranteed title shot. If that's all not enough to make you feel good walking into the ring, I don't know what is.
Yeah, talk about being motivated. The cold, steely-eyed stare of Joel Casamayor seems very focused, very together, despite the near collapse of this fight just 24 hours ago. I asked him if the taunts, the insults, all the knockout talk was a ploy to make Corrales engage rather than box intelligently as he did in the second fight, and he said absolutely not. He said it's all personal. And all along, Casamayor was calling Corrales a fake. And now, with the weight debacle, he feels kind of vindicated. There's only one thing left for Joel Casamayor, and that's sweet redemption. Al, a former world champion once told me it's a mistake to let emotions get in the way. But there's a deep rage burning within Joel Casamayor. He's very angry. as he returns to the scene of his first fight victory over Diego Corrales.
It's a real catch-22 for this man. He does have all that motion bubbling up in him. It's important, by the way, because he needs to punch more in this fight. And he needs to not be such a technician. But I'll tell you what, he cannot let that emotion get the better of him, because, Steve, when it's all said and done, as I pointed out before, this man's a ring technician. That's the way he'll win tonight.
As he continues to make his way slowly to the ring, getting some handshakes from his supporters in the crowd. A lot of emotions running through the mind of Joel Casamayor, able to let out a bit of a smile there, and he looks extremely confident. Just dancing around, very, very eager to get this thing underway. There with boxing legend Roberto Duran, who is a huge supporter of Casamayor. Now former lightweight champ Diego Corrales returning to the scene of his greatest triumph, the first fight with Jose Luis Castillo, which made his name a metaphor for heart, courage, and fearlessness. But ironically, he's now in the same embarrassing position he criticized Castillo for back in June. Corrales prides himself on being professional, yet he committed what he considers a sin for a boxer. I know he's apologetic and claims responsibility, but even as he admitted in his interview with Jim Gray earlier tonight, that's the definition of a hypocrite. It'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction he gets when he comes from the hallway there into full view of the crowd. Obviously, because of what has transpired over the last 24 hours here in Las Vegas.
And he's always been very popular here. Mostly cheers with a sprinkling of boos. My question to you, Al, can Corrales salvage his reputation and remove this blemish? Winning covers a multitude of sins. A big win, especially an exciting one here tonight, will go a long way toward it. There's no question about that.
Point of note, Al, Corrales said he felt 10 times worse yesterday than he did before the Floyd Mayweather fight when he struggled with his weight. You'll recall he got knocked down 5 times in that fight en route to the worst defeat of his career.
He's trying to drum up interest in this crowd, and he's not succeeding. They're more subdued in their reaction to him, and he gets a few boos.
Yeah, he's trying to exhort the crowd, as you can obviously see, but it's a sprinkling of cheers and boos mixed together.
He is a very resilient man mentally, has shown it in getting off the deck in fights, and now here he's going to also have to respond mentally to the fact that he can see already that he has squandered a little bit of the goodwill that he normally feels here in Las Vegas.
And we all know he knows he needs a spectacular win here to erase what happened at the weigh-in. Let's go to the tail of the tape. The numbers will favor Corrales. Big factor age. Casamayor listed at 35, 6 years older than Corrales, who is unusually tall and rangy for this weight, 5'10" and a half, a 3.5-inch height advantage, but just a 1-inch edge in reach. At the weigh-in, Corrales initially 139 and a half, 4.5 pounds over. 2 hours later, he came in at 139. Casamayor right on target at 135. Key unified rules for this fight. There's no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4 rounds, they go to the scorecards. If a punch causes a cut and the injured fighter can't continue, he loses by TKO. So here at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada, we're getting ready for our main event. The rubber match between Diego Corrales and Joel Casamayor. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the beautiful Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Gary Shaw Productions in association with the Mandalay Bay, MGM's Rocky Balboa, DRL Promotions, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the WBC, President Jose Suleiman, Supervisor Osvaldo Bisbal, and the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Dr. Tony Alamo, Commissioners Skip Avancino Jr., John Bailey, Joe W. Brown, and TJ Day, with the Executive Director Keith Kaiser. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Jeff Davidson, Dr. Steve Brown, Dr. Al Capana, and Dr. Anthony Ruggiaroli. Timekeepers at the bell also keeping count of the knockdowns, Mike Lachella and Steve Esposito. Introducing our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Adelaide Bird. Also from Las Vegas, Jerry Roth. And from Tokyo, Japan, Nobuaki Uratani. Introducing our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, working in this his 36th world title bout, Kenny Bayless. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my left, he is fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with red and blue trim, fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Guantanamo, Cuba. He weighed in at the lightweight limit of 135 pounds with a record of 33 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. He has 21 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the WBC number 6 ranked lightweight contender. Please welcome the 1992 Olympic gold medalist and former WBA super featherweight champion of the world, introducing Joel Eusebio Casamayor. And his opponent across the ring, ready to go on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing his traditional camouflage trunks, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Sacramento, California. He weighed in at 139 pounds with a record of 40 wins, 3 losses. He has 33 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 3-time world champion, the hard-hitting Diego Chico Corrales. Once again, here's our referee in charge, Kenny Bayless.
Okay, gentlemen, we know the rules in the dressing room. On the caution, obeying commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Trunks are high here and are wide here. Punches thrown in the upper half is considered a clean punch. Lower half will be considered low. Now, gentlemen, good luck to both of you. Whatever I say, you must obey. Touch up.
I remember the words of Al Bernstein at the end of the second fight. Can you say trilogy? Well, 2.5 years later, here we are. Will Corrales be stronger as Castillo was in their second fight, or weaker as a result of this latest edition of Weightgate? Corrales' wife on hand to cheer him on. And you wonder if the emotions that are coursing through the veins of Joel Casamayor have a positive or negative or no effect on his performance.
His wife, Michelle, very concerned at that weigh-in as she watched him go through all that, and concerned that there might not be a fight. So a lot of emotion in the Corrales family. A lot of emotion in this building, too, right now.
So here we go. Corrales wearing similar trunks from the first fight, the camouflage. Joel Casamayor in the white with the red and blue trim. Let's quickly get it over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Steve, you're talking about emotion. I've interviewed an awful lot of athletes, football, basketball, baseball, boxing, Olympians, golfers, everything, before fights and so forth. I have never interviewed an athlete who, to me, was on the verge of tears, as was Diego Corrales. Steve?
Incredibly emotional night here for both guys, and for different reasons. Thank you very much, Jim. And you add to the equation that time may be running out for both. It makes for a very dramatic and highly combustible situation. And the question is, how much does each guy have left? And don't forget, Corrales hasn't fought in a year.
Yeah, it's a very big point.
And he suffered a crushing KO at his last fight. So we'll see if that factors in.
Now, remember when they last were in the ring together, it was a bout in which Diego Corrales, for the most part, boxed effectively, used the jab, which he's using early in this fight, and controlled the tempo.
Yeah,
so far, it's looking like that fight again.
Certainly not rushing in. The first fight, the first encounter, it was a lot of hitting. There were 3 knockdowns. And the second fight was much more technical. And the pace, at least the first half, well, really the most of the fight was dictated by Corrales. The first half was controlled by Corrales. The second half by Casamayor. He scored a knockdown in the 10th. But then Corrales came back and rocked Casamayor in the 11th. But Casamayor has had Corrales down 3 times in the 2 fights, the 18 rounds of this series thus far.
Casamayor moving to his right more than he did in the other fights. In other fights, he has tried to move to his right just a little, then always move back to the left so he could land the left hand. When he moves this much to the right, he negates his straight left hand.
So a very deliberate start here to this fight. The 2 previous encounters had very different auras, as mentioned, but the one constant throughout, Al, good back and forth action. A series where stereotypes have gone out the window, where you expect the unexpected.
Because both these men have been able to adapt to different things.
Listen to the crowd. They want more action. Too much of a feeling out process here in the opening round for them.
Very close first round, because there's a nice right hand by Corrales, and that's a big, as I pointed out, the keys could be a big weapon for him, and he lands another one when Casamayor comes inside.
So a chess match. 2 very cautious combatants as Corrales looks back because Casamayor may have said something to him. As you look at common ground.
Well, they've helped define the junior lightweight and lightweight division in the last few years, and you can see the famous names on there as they've both gone against the Castillos, the Freitas, Roberto Garcia, who was a champion. And don't be too misled by the fact that Casamayor doesn't have a win against either Freitas or Castillo, because both those fights very close, both fights that certainly Casamayor and his people could have made a case that he won. But as you look at those names, that also demonstrates how closely matched these 2 fighters are. And by the way, Acelino Freitas, of course, just announcing his retirement from the sport of boxing.
Handed his only loss by Diego Corrales. Here we go, round 2. The fans so accustomed to seeing so much more action from these 2 guys that they were very disappointed with the first round.
And remember, Casamayor has, for the most of his career, been a more tactical fighter, but he's created knockdowns and excitement with Corrales. And part of the thing that he needs to do in this match to make sure he doesn't walk away from here again bemoaning a bad decision, he just needs to punch more, Steve, and we didn't see it in round 1 from him.
Well, generally we think of Casamayor as just a slick boxer, but as we've seen in this series, he does have power, and one-punch power with the left.
Absolutely.
But he knows he has to be careful early, particularly with Casamayor. That is when Casamayor is most vulnerable. Historically, he is not a fast starter, and he wants to take no chances with Corrales. Corrales, of course, made the adjustments in the second fight, discouraging Casamayor with the effective jab and just enough of his left hook. So now a lot of people feel that the ball is now in Casamayor's court. Will he find ways to land his straight left? And the crowd continues to show its displeasure here. This is not what they expect.
Now, there's 2 things important to note. Diego Corrales, remember, in their second fight, did fight a more measured fight, but he was active while he was on the outside. He's been a little less active in this fight. Let's remember, again, the issues with weight. How much did he deplete himself coming in? Does he feel like he needs to conserve even more energy as we move through this fight? That's a possible question.
There we go.
Yeah, that could be in the mind of Joel Casamayor. But Casamayor was all week building up the fact he wants to get at this guy, he wants to knock him out. But now it's early, but it looks like he's of a different mindset, that he wants to take this thing deep and do exactly what you said, because Corrales is probably depleted, and he'll have a better chance with a drained Corrales in the later round.
And from Corrales' standpoint, he wants to marshal his resources to fight similar to fight good hook by Corrales, fight a similar to fight that he did in the second fight, but just throw a few less punches. And in truth, that's exactly what he's doing. And you can make the case Corrales has been fairly effective in these first round and a half. And now he's starting to use the jab more, which is absolutely the key in this fight to Corrales, because even when he doesn't land, he controls things.
It was certainly the key in the second fight, which he won by split decision. But a disputed decision at that in the eyes of Casamayor. So Corrales continues to measure Casamayor out, and the crowd continues to boo. Neither one really taking any initiative.
Okay, that's all you can expect. This guy keeps running from you. Great. He's trying to pot shot you every so often when he slows down. He tries to take that little crack at you. Take that right there. You know what, D? Keep the feints going. Keep sliding over to his right a little bit now. What's going to happen is he's going to try to loop that left hand now if you move to your right. Okay? So just be aware of that. And that's the one you get under and you take a little body with that. But every so often, poke out that lead right hand and slide under if it doesn't connect. You know what I mean? Even if it does. Okay. All right. That's right. Very good. Those are your rounds because you're putting the pressure on and he's not doing nothing. You hit him with a good right hand at the end of the first round, and you're putting the pressure on here. You're the one who looks like you want to fight. Okay? Off he comes. Let's go. Yep, we got it. Go.
There's probably no one, Al, who knows Joel Casamayor better than Joe Goosen, Corrales' trainer.
He worked with, of course, Casamayor all the way through his career until the first time Corrales fought Casamayor. He had switched over already to Corrales.
In one of the more dramatic switches in boxing annals, switching over to Diego Corrales and guided him to the victory in fight number 2.
Now, the only interesting piece of advice that they kind of want Corrales to take a step to the right and go under the looping left hand. I just worry that from Corrales' standpoint, when you move to your right, you give Casamayor a better shot to land that right hand. Joe Casamayor right now needs to unload that left. He's got to start throwing it and touching Corrales. If he gives away these early rounds, he's going to be bemoaning the same fate that he had in the second fight, and he'll be again complaining about a close decision loss if Corrales has the stamina in those later rounds.
And just to remind the fans, all 3 knockdowns scored against Corrales by Casamayor with the left hand. But you're right, there could be controversy after the fight as well. If Corrales wins, particularly by knockout, Casamayor will scream it, well, it's just like the second Corrales-Castillo fight. Only this time it was Corrales with the extra baggage. So it's unfair.
No spinning, no spinning, no
And if, look out. Casamayor, who's been known to bend the rules just a bit, admits he's a dirty fighter. Had a point deducted at a terrible time on the first fight for holding Corrales' head down. He also he opened up a cut on Corrales in the very first round of the first fight of this series with a headbutt. But if Corrales loses, Casamayor may not get the credit he deserves, because people will say, hey, Corrales was weak with the weight problems. So it's a vicious cycle.
There's the right hand by Corrales. That was the one Goosen suggested. Now, in this round, Casamayor has thrown more left hands. They haven't been dramatic, but at least he's unloading that punch, and it's been both to the body, as we just saw, and occasionally to the head.
Yeah, Casamayor scoring to the midsection there in that flurry, but then continues to stay away, dance around.
The one missing ingredient, though, has been the consistent jab of Corrales.
A left hand by Casamayor got through on the jaw of Corrales.
He countered a right by Corrales. That's his best punch in the fight by far.
And he is known as a pinpoint counterpuncher. Got another left hand in. A return by Corrales, but it did not score. And a body punch there.
Okay, watch the foot. Watch the foot.
By Casamayor. So it looks like Casamayor is beginning to eke ahead here.
Come out. Listen. The same thing. He's following. Listen. He's following you around the ring. That's what you want. Okay? As long as you don't go in the ropes, you won't give the appearance that you're losing.
Casamayor getting that left hand in. There it is, kind of a looping left hand. But he's landed from many different postures during the course of their series of first two fights. We see it from another angle. Now, even though the right hand was high for Corrales, he still got the punch in. And we saw in our replays before the fight during our Keys to Victory, he can even get that left hand in when he does that. Again, there's another left by Casamayor as he countered the right hand by Corrales.
So for about 3 rounds, 2+ rounds, very tentative on both parts, but now Casamayor coming forth with more activity.
There's a good straight left hand. When he throws that punch, it lands, and now he looks like he wants to get things going.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Casamayor has gotten the wake-up call, and we'll see how Corrales reacts if he can fend him off. If he continues to use tactical measures, the jab, combinations. We really haven't seen the vaunted hook or double left hook of Corrales, which decked Casamayor in the first fight.
I think Diego Corrales is almost willing this fight to be a slow pace, even though Casamayor contributed greatly to that at the beginning. I think Corrales is happy with that if it would stay that way, and now Casamayor is being more aggressive. I think Diego wants a slow-paced fight.
Nice straight left there by Casamayor to the head of Corrales.
But it ain't happening right now.
You asked Joe Goosen a very interesting question yesterday at the weigh-in. In light of what happened at the weigh-in, will they alter their strategy?
He said we're in too deep, we can't alter it, and I think their strategy always was a tactical fight from the outside, but with more punches by Corrales. And I think mentally, Corrales doesn't believe he can throw a lot of punches.
Step back. There we go.
Yeah, the busier he gets, the more worn out he may get as this fight goes on and gets into the later rounds, perhaps.
Oh, fella. Stop. Listen, fellas.
Of course, when those heads get in close,
here we go.
You worry about how well Casamayor can use his head, and we don't even think it.
Now, he is so known for his headbutting. And there's a swift left hook by Corrales, his best punch, and that got the attention of Casamayor. It spun him around a bit.
Great move by Corrales, pushing Casamayor off and getting that head away and then landing a left hook. So the pace is picking up in this fight.
Yeah, now Corrales beginning to impose his will a bit more. Or at least starting. Casamayor comes back, snaps a left. So we're getting some decent exchanges now after a very slow and tedious start.
A good first part of this round for Casamayor, and that might be more than Corrales could handle, trumping it in terms of this later rally by Corrales this round. Although the Corrales left hook started to become a very important weapon.
Starting to resemble more the first fight now. Good back and forth action. Two-way action. Final seconds of round 4, the most entertaining of the fight so far.
And the closest.
Corrales missing with a sharp right cross there. And Casamayor with a stare down.
See, you know what it is, D? Now, listen to me. Now you got to press. Okay, hold on. No, it's good, Jack. Listen to me. You got to press. You understand? I'm telling you. Because what happens is if we have too much time in between, he's able to reset, figure something out, touch and go. Okay, we don't need that. So what you got to do is you've got to keep him on the defensive now. And that means this, if you're going to walk him down with that...
Diego Corrales landing that left hook. It wasn't the perfect left hook, and it was immediately announced as not so good. But as we take a look from the top, you see that that left hand got in despite the fact that Corrales wasn't in the perfect position to throw it. And very important announcement from Joe Goosen there, and we'll see how it goes. Now he thinks they've got to be aggressive. We'll see. That's a key moment in this fight for him to tell Corrales to do that.
So the complexion of this fight
Stop. Let him up. Here we go.
beginning to turn.
And by the way, the reasoning of Goosen is 100% accurate, because Casamayor, when there's a long time, can figure out ways to land that left hand. And the reason Corrales has to press is he's not using the jab as much from the outside, so it's giving big uppercut by Corrales.
And then Casamayor coming back. Both very measured, extremely cautious. Seems like each and every punch well thought out.
When Casamayor comes in and lunges a little bit with that left hand, Corrales is now countering better with his right.
Casamayor with a straight left hand to the jaw.
The missing ingredient, right, we see the press row scoring there. Very close. I have a 39-38 for Corrales with 1 round even.
So thus far, a majority decision to Joel Casamayor through 4. Jeff Haney, Las Vegas Sun, Kieran Mulvaney, Reuters, and James Smitty-Smith from in this corner. Halfway through the 5th, scheduled for 12. The rubber match. Corrales Casamayor splitting the first 2 in very disputed, highly controversial fashion. And then the weigh-in controversy of yesterday when Diego Corrales came in 4.5 pounds over at first. At noon today, Corrales was 145.5, Casamayor 144.5.
There's the jab of Corrales. And look how it sets things up. When he uses that punch, so much more effective.
Stop. Let him up. There you go. Watch your head.
Kenny Bayless, the 3rd man of the ring, with the caution about the noggins, particularly to Joel Casamayor, who has been penalized for that in this series.
The latter part of this round, Corrales has begun to use the jab more and has kept Casamayor at bay and made it harder for Casamayor to land shots.
And the elusive Casamayor with some good defensive maneuvers there to get out of the way. And that left hand was blocked by Corrales. Let's see what they're going to call this. They're calling that a knockdown. It looked like a slip. Was it a punch out?
Punch landed, but the question is, did it just knock him off balance, or did he slip? And shades of the Freitas fight now.
My goodness, Casamayor is beside himself. And Kenny Bayless says it's from a punch.
When you come back over here. It was nothing. When you use the jab.
Was there a punch that created the knockdown? A punch was thrown. Absolutely not a knockdown. Absolutely not. And the feet got tangled up. Bad call for Joel Casamayor. A really tough one. The left hook was thrown, but it only cuffed the head of him. He was pushed down and was pushed down by that. So the question is, do you call it a legal punch? It really is more of a push, though, because it didn't land as a punch. That's the reason he went down, but you can't call it a punch. So tough call for Casamayor.
A mistake. Big question will be how the official judges saw it.
Yep.
I wonder if they'll rule it a 10-8 round.
I made it a 10-9 because of that, to be perfectly candid. Clash of heads and a cut, I believe.
And now the rubber match is really heating up. Casamayor goes right after Corrales, and suddenly the boos have turned to cheers. A straight left hand by Casamayor. So a lot more sustained action.
If Joe Casamayor wants this, he better go after it. And that's what he's doing now. And you can make the case that I think Chico Corrales looks like a tentative fighter tonight. That's what he looks like. And if, in fact, he is, Joel Casamayor should be able to expose that by going after him, even though that's not his natural style.
Yeah, there's no question. Corrales is just doing whatever he has to do to get by here, to win.
Exactly right.
This is not the Corrales from the first or second fight or the Castillo series, that's for sure.
And with all that's happened leading into this fight, not too surprising.
Ultra cautious. Diego Corrales, little welt beginning to form to the left side of Corrales' eye, left eye.
That came from that last banging of heads that they had. And now Casamayor doing some very, very good work.
So we'll see if that becomes a growing factor for Corrales.
No
been involved in 4 cut situations in the 2 fights already, Corrales. So here's number 5. Left hand partially blocked by Corrales. More action from Casamayor, and he missed widely with that one on the duck under move by Corrales. That eye may be starting to become a problem now for Corrales. He's blinking a little more heavily, the left eye. There may be some blood getting in there.
Casamayor needed to have a very, very big round here to shake off the knockdown, and he's doing it.
And now he's looking cocky, brash, showing bravado. Casamayor with the shoulder rolls, taunting Corrales as he had been doing all throughout the pre-fight buildup, but now in the ring.
We remind you again of the 1-year layoff for Corrales, which is enough to give you ring rust under any circumstances.
Here, once again, Casamayor showboating, taunting.
That jive, you got to get on his ass. Hold on, watch out. Get back here. No, it's nothing, Doc. Watch out.
It's like a scratch. It's like your daughter scratched you.
Yeah, it's nothing. Okay, now, give me that end swell, Jack. Now I need it.
All right.
Stay there. A little grease. Watch out, Ricky. Listen, get out. He came right on the head, buddy. You didn't he? Yeah. Hey, Rep. You know, when you were saying get the water out there, he came right out and headbutted him right at the beginning of that round. I'm just saying.
The clash of heads that probably created that Well, a little more than a clash ahead, wasn't it? He pretty much lowered the boom on Diego Corrales, and
that looked intentional.
It did, and wouldn't be the first time for. And now as he works on the inside with good hand speed and combinations, the irony is, of course, with his hands, Casamayor did a lot of damage as well in that round.
Yeah, it didn't look all that bad in the corner,
no.
the cut. In fact, one of the assistants said, it just looks like your daughter scratched you. In fact, he delivered his daughter.
Yes, that's true, he did.
Several months ago, Dahlia, which is phenomenal. Unbelievable. Round 7 in a fight that is becoming interesting after the very laborious start.
There's Casamayor working the body, which also isn't a bad idea for him. Clearly, what with the weight loss issues for Corrales and the question about his stamina as this fight goes on.
Press scoring through 6.
Yeah,
important that knockdown. Split decision to Casamayor, Al.
Yeah, and you can make a strong case for either of those scores. The knockdown, I made it a 10-9 round now because for Corrales, in truth, simply because I just wasn't sure of the knockdown, and the rest of the round was close.
They gave the last round all to Casamayor. Round 5, all 10-8 to Corrales. For the knockdown, that really wasn't a knockdown. This is scheduled for 12.
There's the right hand by Corrales that he needs to be thrown from the outside. It didn't land perfectly, but he threw it.
Corrales looking a little more bold now all of a sudden. There's a left-right combination upstairs by Chico Corrales.
Casamayor had such a good round in the last round, and in this round he's been a little more timid, and Corrales has been a little bit more aggressive in terms of the punches he throws.
There's the jab by Corrales. That's more of a balance shot. It wasn't to set anything up.
Work out.
And then Corrales with an overhand right that nailed Casamayor.
One of Corrales' better rounds, actually, coming off the not-so-good round in the last one. Quick counter left hook there by Corrales. He's been so much sharper in this round.
Corrales continues to march forward, flips the jab, doubles up, misses with the right. Casamayor counters with the right, but...
This is an important round for Corrales. He's done almost everything right in this round.
Another straight right hand by Corrales. Yeah, much better round for Chico Corrales. And Casamayor going back to being tentative, although he landed there right at the bell with the left hand. Well, as part of our free preview weekend, you have a chance to win an exciting trip. Each night, we'll give you a new code word to enter online or text. Go to show.com or text message to 74688 with tonight's code word, DICE, for a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas.
Back. Don't give him that opportunity. You hear me? Okay, good. Keep that jab going. Keep that right hand up, chin tucked, and I want rhythm. As long as you keep that jab in his face, feigning, and you see what's happening, that jab hook now is going to unlock that right hand off that hook, okay? So keep that jab hook ready, jab uppercut right, okay?
I always look for him to come back with a counter, baby.
I know that's nothing.
You know when he stop, he gonna try to throw. You know when he stop, he gonna try to throw.
Jack, be a little tougher.
Round 8. In round 7, Casamayor unable to do any additional damage to Corrales' left eye. He just couldn't sustain the momentum from round 6.
There's Casamayor going down to the body. That helps him because it also lowers the guard of Diego Corrales.
Oh, low blow, and what a twist. It's from Corrales, not Casamayor.
Okay.
One of the few body punches Corrales has thrown in this fight. This is also interesting.
Come in, touch up, keep him.
You're allowed 5 minutes after a low blow to shake it off, but he just came right back. And the rough house tactics. Here we go.
Good work by Casamayor to go downstairs. I think it would behoove him, even though we're already in round 8, it would behoove him to go after the body of Corrales a little bit. We still don't know how Corrales is going to fare in those later rounds. And there is Casamayor again going downstairs. Should have done more of that earlier, really.
Well, Corrales giving Casamayor a little bit of his own medicine there.
You're suggesting one of those might stray low as we go up?
Just slightly. Now there's Casamayor aiming for the midsection.
And look what that did. That set up that left hand to the head. And so in this sequence, this minute sequence, Casamayor has found out a couple of things that he can make happen.
Yeah, kind of lulled Corrales momentarily. That's all he needed, because he's so fast.
And more than anything, what's Casamayor doing in this round? He's throwing the left hand. And when he does that, good things happen for him. He's winning this round.
So a lot of ebb and flow. We go back and forth. So after Corrales looked good in the 7th round, now Casamayor takes over in the 8th. A right uppercut on the inside by Corrales, and another couple of pot shots there by Corrales. Back came Casamayor with a countering left.
Casamayor thought Kenny Bayless was going to step in between, but their hands were free, and Corrales threw it. That little short right hand. Casamayor was not hurt badly by that punch, and that's staggering to me because it's just a tremendous right hand. Is Corrales turning the tide in this round, and can he do enough in the last minute to not lose this round?
Casamayor can take a hit. He's been down only 3 times in his career. Against Freitas, questionable. Against Corrales in the first fight. And Daniel Seda in 2004.
Another fight we did here in Shuffle. Yeah. Good left hand by Casamayor a moment ago.
Straight right hand there by Corrales. He's been down 11 times in his career, 3 times against Casamayor, but he's climbed off the canvas 10 of those 11 times. Final seconds of round 8 as Casamayor comes back.
Close round to judge, but Casamayor did so much in the first 2 minutes. You have to feel like he might have won it.
And the body shot by Corrales just before the bell.
Nice and calm, nice and calm. Give me the bucket, give me the bucket. Listen to me. The last 10 seconds, you need a little more punch.
Diego Corrales ripping a left hook to the body of... Now, he's mad right there. He is mad about the head. That was deliberate by Diego Corrales. He was mad about the head work of Casamayor, and then he said, I'm gonna show you. I got something for you. And that's what he did. Then later on, as we mark the elbow of Corrales, I believe there was a little elbow activity as well by him. Yep, he brought that up, and I think he was thinking about that too. So we have got an interesting battle going on.
Yeah, so far all the roughhouse stuff is deliberate. And there was one right on the belt line by Casamayor. But treacherously close to south of the border.
And of course, Kenny Bayless not in position to see that body shot by Corrales, the one that went very low and looked like it was measured.
Round 9, a fight that is very close.
Both a good hook by Corrales and a good left by Casamayor. Those are the 2 punches in the first fight that created knockdowns. They're going at it here in round 9. Some bigger punches being thrown and landed.
Great right hand by Corrales. Casamayor shakes it up and dances away. Corrales on the march, the aggressor, and then tied up by Casamayor.
Wow, that's interesting. So we see the last couple rounds that we thought were close. Apparently the ringside scoring people certainly feeling we're more toward Casamayor.
Yeah, unanimous decision, but tight.
You know, throughout all these 2.5 fights between the two, Corrales has still not figured out a way to step to his left and stop movement by Casamayor by hitting him with the left hook to the body and the head. He just hasn't quite gotten there.
Corrales coming straight in right here.
And part of that is because Corrales drifts to his right too much. It doesn't take a step to his left to stop him.
Yeah, a lot more movement from Casamayor.
See, you know, Corrales, when he approaches him, sometimes will veer off to his right and come back in, giving Casamayor the perfect angle to hit him with the straight left, and we saw it just a moment ago.
And, of course, a very effective punch in this series for Casamayor.
Now, in this round, some bigger, the showier punches landed by Corrales, but what about the volume of punches in terms of things that are landed by Casamayor?
Stop.
Yeah, Casamayor, the busier of the two here in round 9. But a lot depends on how the judges see it. Sometimes they go for the heavier punch. Now Casamayor to the body. Doesn't seem to phase Corrales. Good shot there by Corrales.
Great left hook, but not enough leverage on that punch. It was more of an arm punch, but he's getting the left hook in a little more, Corrales.
Is it a harbinger of things to come for Corrales?
See what I mean? You got to, hey, look, if you don't make this guy fight, we're never going to get the good shots in. Let me have some water real quick.
To him, B. You
Here,
know
hold on
when
to
you throw, he gonna try to counter right hand.
Let me give you a little bit there.
When he stop, he gonna try to throw. You know that.
You're in great shape. You ain't even breathing hard. Take a good
He ain't been doing what you've been doing.
Now, listen, 2 things I want you to remember. Keep that chin down, your hands up good.
Joel Casamayor going to the body with that jab, but taking a counter right hand by Corrales. And so, in that posture, Corrales able to counter him very well. Casamayor left hand, a very important weapon. He can get it in when he throws it. There was a perfect example of it. It has not created a knockdown in this fight yet for him, as it did twice in the first fight and once in their second.
With all the concern over Corrales' stamina, he hasn't faded yet.
No.
As you keep suggesting, with only 9 more minutes of action remaining, we'll see if there are any late heroics here.
Joe Goossen made the point to Corrales, you have to make him, you have to go to him or you won't land big shots. You have to create these little firefights with Casamayor.
And of course, if this is a very close decision in Corrales' favor, it's like, here we go down that road again for Casamayor, who is very upset with the scoring in the second fight.
And this is a close fight, make no mistake about it. Tremendous right hand and hook by Corrales.
And then a left hand that's scored by Casamayor.
Joel Casamayor can take a punch. We knew that already, of course, from a body of work in his whole career, but tonight demonstrates the point even further.
Yeah, he's not only a slickster, he is very rugged, very tough.
Yep.
Work out.
Proves it time and time again. On the break, he connected with the left hand, Casamayor, and nothing in return from Corrales. Corrales coming forward, but Casamayor too quick for him. He's backpedaling, but eluding the punches, and he got a left hand in on Corrales there, did Casamayor.
We're halfway through this round, and let me tell you, tough round to score. Both men have done good work in this round.
And Casamayor almost surgical here in round 10. Picking his spots. Very sharp punches.
The question is he picking them too infrequently after Corrales had that first beginning stretch of this round?
Well, if this goes to the final bell, we'll soon find out how the judges are acting upon it.
There's the jab of Corrales. Again, not a punch he's used enough of in this fight. That was the difference between this fight and the second fight with Casamayor, in which that jab was a very effective weapon.
So after a slow start, viewers across America enjoying some terrific boxing action here during this Showtime preview weekend.
Well, we've had drama of every kind. We've had, questionable tactics by both men here. We've had some very good punches landed. And there's still drama and questions.
Corrales landing with a left hand. A left hook to the jaw of Casamayor. That doesn't stop Casamayor, though.
Man, is he landing left hooks, and Casamayor's walking through those punches.
Casamayor showboating. He had better be careful. We head to the bell. Corrales trying to end it on one punch.
Well, you go score that one. Oh, wait, I have to do it.
No thanks.
He said he got cut. You're good. You're good. Keep the 1-2. Keep the 1-2 going. 2 more and we're the champions.
A very entertaining 10th round, and here's part of the reason. Corrales landing that excellent straight right hand after the jab, something he hasn't done enough of. Threw in a left hook for good measure. And later, well, there's the right hand again by Corrales, and landed the counter left hook. Later on, Casamayor would have his moments as well in this round. The left hand always important, and there it is again. When he throws the left, it lands.
Well, that has been consistent for Casamayor throughout this fight.
And their whole series.
Whole series. That straight left hand, which has put Corrales down 3 times. He's looking for number 4 here. Our thanks to our translator, Felix de Jesus, in the Casamayor corner. Roger Bloodworth, the trainer, reunited with Joel Casamayor. Here we go, round 11. We're in the championship rounds, but of course, if Corrales wins, no championship for him. He has vacated the title. If Casamayor wins, he's the champion. If he loses, he's number 1. He'll get an immediate fight with the interim champ, David Diaz.
He's a very good fighter, and that would be an interesting matchup. You know, Diego Corrales has said he's going to move all the way up to 147 after this. Well, there's an indication that press row scoring. I have it.
Oh, big left hand by Casamayor. Huge left hand.
Astonishingly, it didn't put Corrales down. I have it 1 point for Corrales at this point, but you can make a strong case for Casamayor being ahead in this fight.
Another hard left on the inside by Casamayor.
Keep him in front. Don't reciprocate. All right, here we go.
You heard Kenny Bayless.
There is irony in Casamayor complaining about an illegal tactic, but in his defense, Corrales has not been a choir boy in this fight.
Corrales doing a little rabbit punching there and holding behind the head, which are characteristics of Casamayor.
Well, we're in round 11, and while the fight was fought at a strategic pace early, there have been certainly moments where it's heated up, and Corrales has not faded completely, as some might suspect, if in fact he was in such dire physical straits as to be worried about fainting, etc., in the days leading up to the weigh-in.
No signs of that whatsoever. A chopping right missed by Corrales. Casamayor comes back with a straight left. A lot of people were wondering, could Corrales, under the circumstances, make it this deep into the fight? Well, he seems to be having absolutely no problem whatsoever.
And in fairness, it will raise in cynics' minds the question of whether he did deplete himself to make the weight. Because that's the charge he made against Castillo. Castillo knocked him out. Good left hook there a moment ago by Corrales.
Welt on the left side of the head of Casamayor continues to grow. So they both have welts now.
Work out. Stop back.
Now grappling in the center of the ring is. We are through 11. 1 to go.
Another round for you. You won that round, okay? There's no way they could score it any other way. Now listen, this is the last round. He's got to go for broke as far as I'm concerned, okay?
First round, baby. We fresh.
Now, here's what I need from you. I need real determination this round. Those hands go.
Well, Casamayor, early in that round had some very good moments, including that straight left hand. We take a peek at the left again. When it's thrown by Casamayor, it is effective. And you can see that was a superb example of it. But of course, as we also see there, Casamayor seldom presses the attack after it.
Last round. The mouthpiece. You need the mouthpiece.
Casamayor very eager, getting last-second instructions from his trainer.
Keep the gloves up.
And here we go, the 12th and final round. They touch gloves and engage.
Stop.
Left hand got through by Casamayor. What's the key here to the final 3 minutes, Al?
Well, you know, the key is exactly what we've seen before. For Casamayor, it's to throw that straight left and throw it a lot. And for Corrales, it's to counter with the right hand. And guess what? We saw that in the first 45 seconds. And the other key, I think, is for one man to try his best to make a statement. And as I say it advisedly, especially in the last half of the round, because often judges remember it more.
So a very close fight enters the 12th and final round. And it could possibly come down to this round. There's your press row scoring. One has it even, the other two to Casamayor. A majority decision to Casamayor.
I've got it dead even. And remember that knockdown early in the fight could be a key factor.
A very disputed knockdown. It did not look like a real knockdown, and Casamayor has a case. We approach the halfway point of the last round. And again, the showboating by Casamayor, who thinks, obviously, he's ahead.
Stop.
So the rubber match between Corrales and Casamayor coming down to this.
Again, the left hand by Casamayor, but Corrales does some nice work on the inside. This is just a very, very difficult match to judge.
Blood coming down the bridge of Casamayor's nose now. Casamayor said going into the fight he did not want to let this go to the judges. It looks like we're headed down the road to another very controversial decision. Unless something dramatic happens in these final 30-plus seconds.
And this is a match that could go either way. And this, I think this 12th round is a good indicator of that.
Well, we wanted to see if we could finally get a definitive and conclusive winner in this series. And I don't know, we're still going to be kind of left in the dark. Final 10 seconds of the fight.
Corrales landed two nice right hands at the end. Is that enough? Not according to Joel Casamayor, who's doing his celebrating early.
Yeah, the emotion, the outburst by Casamayor, who feels he's got this one in the bag, as does Diego Corrales. Could these guys fight anything but a disputed or controversial fight out?
Apparently not, and part of the reason for that is they both are tough enough not to be knocked out, and they both have certain weapons that work against the other guy. Also interesting, the corners kind of being a little more amicable.
And after all the bad blood, they come together. Nice words from Roger Bloodworth, telling Corrales he's a warrior. Corrales' trainer Joe Gushin in the red shirt, but Casamayor, no question, he thinks it's his.
hablamos, we all talk to him.
So much for the bad blood.
Now estamos terminados? Somos amigos now. Somos amigos.
A seminal moment in this fight occurred in round 5, and we're going to look at it in a moment or two.
The third embrace
Great fight, guys.
between two guys who engaged in a war of words throughout the fight build-up. And it was real, it was personal. Roberto Duran telling Casamayor he's got it.
We look back at round 5, perhaps the most important moment in this bout. A left hook will be not quite landed by Corrales. We look at the feet and watch how they get a little tangled up. He steps on the right foot of Corrales, shades of Wepner Ali, and because he was not in a good balanced position, this left hook that swiped his head would knock him down. There is no question the arm contact by Corrales knocked him down, but do you call that a legal punch? I don't think it was. And the reason he went down is because of his foot being on Corrales' foot, and his balance was betrayed.
Casamayor was completely and utterly stunned by that call by Kenny Bayless. If you don't recall, let's take a look at the scores from the first two encounters of this series. The first fight was October 4th, 2003, which was stopped after round 6, controversially, when the mouthpiece went through the lip of Diego Corrales, and then the very close disputed split decision for Corrales in the second fight, March 6th of 2004. And now here we are again, Al, with another controversial decision that we are waiting for from our man Jimmy Lennon Jr.
And the reason we can say it's controversial is because either way it goes, we know there will be arguments.
Somebody's going to be upset. There is absolutely no question about that.
I am. And my gloves. I am. Right here. I got it right here.
So coming up, don't miss the next edition of America's Fight Night, Saturday, November 4th at 9 p.m. It's the WBO Heavyweight Championship as Sergey Lahovich battles Shannon Briggs. And then later tonight, we'll have the results and best fight nominees on our Showtime Championship Boxing 20th anniversary. Stay tuned for all of that stuff coming up here on America's Fight Night. Right now, let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a split decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Jerry Roth scores the bout 114 to 113 in favor of Diego Corrales. Judge at ringside, Nobuaki Uratani scores the bout 115 to 112 in favor of Joel Casamayor. And judge at ringside, Adelaide Bird scores the bout 116 to 111 in favor of the winner and the new WBC lightweight champion of the world, Joel Casamayor.
It is sweet redemption for Joel Casamayor. And you have to wonder how much the judges may have been influenced, not trying to start anything, but influenced by the weigh-in controversy.
Well, it's interesting because as you look at these scores, I think the one thing that the Corrales people and their fans will look at and wonder about is the 116-111 spread. That's enormously big, especially in a fight in which Corrales scored a knockdown, even though it wasn't an official knockdown. But that's part of the scoring that's kind of intriguing. It should, I think, be a 2-point fight one way or the other, or 1 point.
What a wide margin. Adelaide Bird having it by 5 points in favor of Casamayor.
That's staggering.
And it is more so when you think that one of the other judges, Jerry Roth, had Corrales winning.
Yeah.
So a split decision to Joel Casamayor. Let's get it up to Jim Gray in the ring. Jim?
All right, thank you very much. Roberto Duran in here, shaking the hands and hugging Diego Corrales. First, let me start over here with you first, Diego. Your thoughts on this decision?
I thought I won it. I thought I won. I have to go back and watch tape. I mean, if I lost it, I'll say I lost it. But I thought I won.
Were you as sharp as you have been in prior fights?
I felt I was pretty sharp. I boxed pretty well. I mean, used a good jab, used some good feints, started adding combinations later on in the fight, but I thought I boxed very well.
You never seemed to tire or be fatigued, so was this weight issue as much of an issue other than the fact that you didn't make weight?
Nobody knows how tired I really am, so I'm pretty tired. My body's, it's running on fumes right now, but I'm okay.
Did you believe that you knocked him down in the 5th round, or did you believe that that was a slip?
I tell you what, I knew it was left hook, but I tell you what, it wasn't a solid knockdown. It was one of those things where I caught him off balance. I mean, it's a knockdown because I connect the punch, but I mean, to say it's a legit knockdown, no, it wasn't a legit knockdown because of the fact that I hit him while he was off balance, he fell over. It's a knockdown because he went down and my punch did it, but that's still, it wasn't one of those legit, one of Diego Corrales knockdowns. It wasn't one of those.
Were you emotionally prepared and stable, if that's the right word, for this fight?
Yeah, I was fine. I mean, I came out, I boxed well. I did everything I was supposed to do. Executed to the way we were supposed to execute my plan. I have nothing to be worried about or ashamed about. I came out here, like I said, basically running on fumes. I'm going to go home and get some rest and take a look at this fight.
And what will you do next? I assume we've seen the end of you at 135.
Yeah, you've seen the end of me at 135, and as of right now, it's time to go home and decide if you've seen the end of me, period. I mean, I don't know. So.
Does that mean you're retiring?
I haven't said that. I just simply said it's time for me to go home and think about what I'm going to do.
Appreciate you taking the time, Diego. Thank you. Joel, you can stay with us for a moment here. What was your impression of the decision?
¿Qué tú crees de la decisión? Bueno, para mí fue una decisión buena, porque está buena la pelea, pero ya era hora que aquí en La Vega me dieran la pelea que me merecía, ya que así fue la decisión también con Gatillo, y ahora me entrené bien, me preparé bien para hacer esta pelea.
Luis the Cubist will interpret.
Yeah, well, thank God. He won the fight clearly. He's very thankful. The judges saw it this way instead of the last 3 performances, which he won too. But this time the judges were right by the decision. He's very happy about that.
When you know that you didn't knock him out and he didn't knock you out and it was going to the judges, were you concerned about hearing the scores?
Cuando tú no noqueaste, no te noqueó a ti, tú sabías que la decisión iba a los jueces y te puso un poco nervioso.
No, sí me puse nervioso, pero bueno, pero sí, es como todo, aquí que tal.
Understood that, no, but yes, but keep going.
Aquí tengo con la 2 jabas, ¿entiendes? Yo estaba nervioso como todo porque ya me han robado toda la pelea, ¿entiendes? Y ha sido bien cerrada la pelea aquí. Pero me siento contento hoy que gané mi título mundial. Yo soy campeón para mi gente de Cubana, Miami. Y gracias a Showtime, Gary Chávez.
Yeah, he was concerned. Of course he was. He had 3 other fights didn't go his way. The Freitas, the Corrales. And the Castillo fight didn't go his way. The judges gave it to the other guys who was very, very concerned. But they weren't going to take this one away from him because he won clearly. He just wants to thank all the people in Miami, all the Cubans, and everybody all over the country and the world.
Absolutely a convincing scoring when you take into account that it was ruled a knockdown in the 5th round. Did you feel you were knocked down? You protested and appeared not to think that was the case.
No, él me empujó.
No, he never went down. He got pushed down. Yeah. Everybody saw it when they showed the replays. He pushed him down. Even, it was clear there was no knockdown.
When we interviewed you before the fight, this was your quote. "I'm his daddy. He needs to come to me and beg for forgiveness." How much of that do you hold? How much disdain do you hold for Diego Corrales?
En la pelea dijiste que era tu niño, tú sabes que tenía que venir a tus rodillas a pedirte, tú sabes, perdón, si todavía te sientes de esa forma por él.
No, ya eso es sangre caliente, ya eso pasó ya. Diego es una buena persona, tiene una linda familia, igual que yo, y ahora vamos a ser unos amigos, es todo promoción, ¿entiendes?
He says, it's just, before the fight, Diego's a great guy, he's got a family like he does, they're all in the same business, to win, they're going to do whatever they got to win before the fight and get into another man's mind they got to do, but, he's a great guy, and, what can he say, about Diego Corrales?
How much were you unhappy with the fact that he didn't make weight?
¿Tú estabas bravo cuando no hizo el peso?
Bueno, yo estaba bravo porque para mí fue una falta de respeto y una falta de respeto a la Comisión de la Nevada y a la gente porque están esperando Pero como quiera, yo quería esa pelea porque estaba bien entrenado, así pesado, 200 libras, yo quería esa pelea porque yo quería montarle al mundo que yo soy el mejor 105 libras por libra del mundo.
Of course, he was a little disappointed, the commission, the fans, everybody came in, but, he wasn't going to let his fans down. He was going to fight, the same way, Corrales did the second one against Castillo, but thank God boxing is hit, not be hit, and that's why he took charge and established the jab from the beginning.
Final thought, what now that you have the title? What will you do?
Ahora quiero primero una ocasión con mi familia, que me la merezco, y disfrutar mi triunfo, mi campeonato, y después hablaremos de negocio. Vea que venga Barrera, pues si quiere ver con Barrera, con Morales, que venga.
He says, right now he just wants he wants to just be away with his family for a while, and have a good time. And first time he told me the first time he got to the United States after he came over, from the Cuban national team, we were out one night and he goes to me, you know what, put me Barrera right now. Now maybe Barrera will come to him now.
Yeah. And Joe Goossen said something to you in your ear. There had obviously been, a very changed position from when he was your former trainer and he had taken you in the first fight and then went with Corrales in the second fight. What did he whisper to you into your ear when this was over?
Tú sabes todo lo que ha pasado y todas esas cosas, que se fue con Corrales, esas cosas, fue lo que te dijo Joe Goossen en el oído después de la pelea.
Yo no me acuerdo, pero él sabe que soy un gran peleador, que soy un guerrero, él sabe.
He says, Joe Goossen knows I'm a great warrior and a great champion, he knows he's a warrior, he knows that.
You are indeed. Congratulations, Joel.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's go back to you, Steve.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. So I guess it's forgive and forget as far as Joel Casamayor is concerned. At first, Diego Corrales loses the battle to the scale, then he loses the battle to Joel Casamayor. And here are the scores.
Yeah, and obviously the one score that jumps out at you is Adelaide Bird. You can make a strong case for Casamayor winning this fight. I just don't know if you can make a case for a 5-point win.
Yeah, quite a margin there by Adelaide Bird, particularly when one of the other judges, Jerry Roth, has Corrales winning. Here's the press row scoring. Let's see. Jeff Haney had Casamayor winning by 5. Kieran Mulvaney had Casamayor by just 1. And James Smitty Smith had Casamayor by 3. A unanimous decision for Casamayor, but...